The story of the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, Pfennig coin, 1971, a symbol of divided Germany and socialist ideals. In the heart of Cold War Europe, where the Berlin Wall stood as a concrete scar dividing families, nations, and ideologies, a humble aluminum coin carried the weight of an entire state's ambitions. The 10 Pfennig coin of the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, DDR, minted in 1971, was no ordinary piece of currency. It was a tiny, metallic manifesto, a daily reminder in the pockets of millions of East Germans of the socialist dream they were supposedly building. This coin, though worth just 1/10 of a mark der DDR, tells a gripping tale of post-war division, ideological warfare, artistic propaganda, and the quiet endurance of ordinary people. Its front and back sides are not just designs. They are windows into why East Germany existed, how it tried to define itself, and why it ultimately faded into history. Welcome to Old World Coins Vault. Here we bring you the oldest, the rarest, and the most mysterious coins from around the world. Do you want to know which coin is worth millions? Which coin is hiding one of history's biggest secrets? And which coin looks ordinary today, but could make you rich tomorrow? So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's open the Old World Coins Vault. To truly appreciate this coin, we must travel back to the ashes of World War II. Germany was shattered in 1945. The Allies split the country into occupation zones. The Soviet-controlled East became the German Democratic Republic on October 7, 1949, a self-proclaimed workers' and peasants' state loyal to Moscow. West Germany, Bundesrepublik Deutschland, embraced capitalism and the Marshall Plan. Currency became the first battlefield. In 1948, both sides introduced new Deutsche Marks to stabilize their economies after hyperinflation and wartime ruin. But East Germany's coins initially bore the neutral word Deutschland, hoping to claim legitimacy over the entire nation. By 1952, the designs shifted to openly socialist symbols as the DDR solidified its identity under leaders like Walter Ulbricht. The small denomination coins, 1, 5, and 10 Pfennig, evolved slowly. Early versions showed wheat stalks and cogwheels, nodding to agriculture and industry. But a major redesign came in the early 1960s to fully embrace the new republic's name and emblem. The 10 Pfennig series we know today launched in 1963 and ran until 1990. The 1971 edition was part of this long-running type, catalogued as KM number 10. It was struck at the Berlin Mint mark A, in staggering numbers, 66,618,228 pieces. Why so many? The DDR's planned economy needed endless small change for shops, factories, and state-run stores. Production was massive because inflation was controlled, but everyday transactions relied on these lightweight aluminum coins. The master engraver was Rudi Högner, a pioneering industrial designer, architect, and educator in the GDR. Högner was not a traditional artist, but a functionalist who helped shape East Germany's design philosophy. He taught at the Hochschule für Industrielle Formgestaltung, College of Industrial Design, in Halle, and emphasized socialist realism blended with practical modernity. Högner worked alongside talents like Axel Bertram, who later redesigned higher-denomination coins. The government commissioned him because the DDR wanted coins that were cheap to produce. Aluminum was abundant and light, durable for circulation, and loaded with propaganda. Every detail had to serve the state. No luxury, just ideology wrapped in everyday utility. The coin was made at the state-owned Berlin Mint under strict central planning. It was created to circulate in a society where private banks and speculation were banned. Money existed to support collective production, not individual wealth. The design itself was standardized earlier, but 1971 marked a pivotal political shift. Walter Ulbricht stepped down in May 1971, officially for health reasons, but really due to Soviet pressure, and Erich Honecker took over as first secretary. Honecker promised real existing socialism, a slight relaxation toward consumer goods while tightening political control. The massive mintage reflected economic stability efforts after the 1960s reforms. East Germany was trying to prove its system worked better than the West's consumer frenzy. The coin was a quiet tool in that propaganda war. Cheap, functional, and stamped with the state's unbreakable symbols. Now let's examine the front side, obverse, the face that every East German saw first. Dominating it is the official state emblem of the DDR, a golden hammer crossed with a compass, or pair of dividers, encircled by a wreath of rye ears tied with a ribbon in black, red, and yellow, the exact colors of the DDR flag. Surrounding it in bold capital letters is Deutsche Demokratische Republik. This was no random decoration. The hammer represented the industrial working class, the backbone of socialism. The compass symbolized the technical intelligentsia and scientists whom the state courted to build a modern utopia, unlike pure workers and peasants slogans elsewhere in the Eastern Bloc. The rye wreath stood for agriculture and the rural collective farms, LPGs. The ribbon's colors deliberately echoed the traditional German flag, but were reinterpreted as socialist triumph: black for the dark past of fascism, red for the blood of revolution, gold for a bright communist future. Adopted officially in 1959, with roots in the 1950s, the emblem was designed to project unity and progress. Hügner engraved it with precision. The grains of rye are detailed. The ribbon flows naturally. Every time a citizen held the coin, they were reminded, this is our republic, built by workers, intellectuals, and farmers together. It was history you could carry in your pocket, a daily dose of Marxist-Leninist ideology during the height of the Cold War. The reverse side, which we will explore more deeply in the next batch, features the simple value 10 Pfennig, the mint mark A, the date 1971, and a single oak leaf, but that leaf carries deep German cultural weight. The reverse side of the 1971 10 Pfennig coin is deceptively simple, yet rich in layered meaning. In the center, bold lettering declares 10 Pfennig, with the mint mark A for Berlin, positioned just above the denomination. Below sits the year 1971. To the right of the value, a single elegantly detailed oak leaf curves gracefully. This was not mere decoration. The oak tree, Eiche in German, has deep roots in German folklore, symbolizing strength, endurance, and national resilience for centuries. In the Romantic era, poets and nationalists celebrated the oak as a symbol of the unbreakable German spirit, standing tall through storms, its leaves representing vitality and eternal renewal. Even the Nazis had co-opted oak leaves for military awards, but in the DDR, the regime repurposed the symbol carefully. It evoked traditional German heritage while tying it to the socialist future. The leaf whispered, "Our republic is strong like the ancient oak, rooted in the people's labor, growing toward communism." Rudi Hügner engraved this leaf with masterful subtlety. Unlike the crowded obverse, the reverse feels clean and modern, reflecting the DDR's functionalist design ethos: beauty through utility, not ornamentation. The aluminum composition made the coin lightweight, about 1.5 grams, and resistant to corrosion, practical for a society where coins passed through countless hands in state shops, factories, and the famous intershops that sold Western goods for hard currency. Edge was plain, as befitted low-value circulation pieces. Life with this coin in the DDR was a daily immersion in the system's realities. East Germans carried it in worn leather purses or coat pockets alongside 1 and 5 Pfennig pieces. It bought a bread roll at the bakery, a tram ticket, or a newspaper like Neues Deutschland. In the planned economy, prices were fixed. A simple meal might cost a few marks, paid with handfuls of these aluminum coins. Children collected them for games or traded them at school. Workers in the giant combinate, state conglomerates, received wages partly in small change. The coin witnessed the Stasi's watchful eyes, the shortages of the 1970s and 80s, and the quiet jokes about real existing socialism versus propaganda. Yet the coin also embodied hope and contradiction. While the front proclaimed unity of workers, farmers, and intellectuals, reality often diverged. Privilege for party elites, gray monotony for most. Honecker's era brought some consumer improvements, more cars, Trabant, television sets, but the wall, built 1961, remained a brutal reality until its fall in November 1989. The 10 Pfennig circulated right up to monetary union in July 1990, when the DDR mark was exchanged for the West German Deutsche Mark at a favorable rate for small savers. On July 1, 1990, East German coins became obsolete overnight. Millions were melted down or hoarded as souvenirs. The fall of the wall turned this humble coin into a historical artifact. Today, collectors worldwide seek it as a tangible piece of Cold War history. According to numismatic databases like Numista, a standard circulated 1971 A10 Pfennig is worth roughly $20 to $60 in average condition. Uncirculated or proof-like examples can reach $400,000 to $40,000 or slightly more in premium grades. Mintage was high, 66,618,228 pieces, so it is not rare. On international markets, eBay, specialized auctions in Germany, or platforms like MA shops, you rarely see it fetch more than a few dollars unless in exceptional condition or part of a full DDR set. Those stories usually confuse it with ultra-rare West German or pre-war coins. A complete set of DDR circulation coins might sell for $5 to $7 million depending on quality, but individual 1971 10 Pfennig remains affordable, perfect for beginners wanting a slice of divided Germany's story. When Germany reunified in 1990, these coins symbolized both the failure of communism and the resilience of ordinary people who lived under it. Rudi Högner, 1907 to 1995, the man behind the design, deserves deeper credit. A trained architect and industrial designer, he taught at prestigious GDR art schools, shaping generations of functionalist creators. He viewed design as a tool for socialist progress, practical, egalitarian, free from capitalist excess. His coins were part of a broader effort to create a distinctly East German visual identity, distinct from the West's eagle and oak seedlings. Högner also designed furniture, metals, and even the art prize of the GDR. His work survived the regime's collapse. Today his legacy lives in museums, and the coins still held by collectors. The 1971 10 Pfennig was born from necessity and ideology, to provide reliable small change in a command economy, to indoctrinate subtly through daily use, and to assert the DDR's legitimacy as the better Germany. It was made because the state needed symbols as much as it needed bread. It was created in Berlin's Mint under central planning to reinforce the narrative of collective triumph. Yet when the wall fell, the coin outlived the republic it served, now a neutral witness to history's twists. In the end, this tiny aluminum disc reminds us how money can carry ideology, culture, and human drama. From the ashes of 1945 to the euphoria of 1989 to 90, the 10 Pfennig 1971 traveled with millions through fear, hope, and change. Holding one today connects you directly to that era, feeling the weight of a